Good afternoon, Joe here with Joe Sober. Just want to get on here and do another video while I have the chance about sobriety, my experiences with it, any kind of help or hope I can give anybody else. So today's topic is going to be about getting sober and why you should get sober. So, I know for the longest time in my situation, my whole family wanted me to get sober. My parents, my siblings, my cousins, my aunts, my uncles, but I didn't want to get sober. And so back before 2010, anytime I would try to get sober, it just wouldn't last. I mean, it might last a day or two, but it was because I wasn't ready or, I was trying to do it for somebody else. So when you want to get sober, you have to be ready to get sober. You have to want to do it for yourself. You can't do it for your job, your parents, your siblings, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your wife, your husband, your kids, any of that. You've got to do it for you and you've got to want it. Because if you try to do it for anybody else, it's just not going to work, at least not long term. So, you hear a lot of people say, well, I don't know why that person can't get sober for those kids at home that love them so much and stuff like that. And, you just can't. You've got to get sober for yourself and because you want to be sober. Anything else is not going to work long term. Now, there might be some people out there that, originally got sober for somebody else, for their kids, for their wife, their husband, their significant other, their boyfriend, their girlfriend, their parents, whoever it may be. But early on in that, they also decided that they wanted to be sober, and they figured out that they had to do it for themselves and that they had to want it in order for it to work long term. So, if you're out there and you're wanting to get sober, and you want to try to do it for your kids, you want to try to do it for whoever else, it's not going to work. You have to be ready yourself, and you have to want to do it for yourself. You have to want to be sober, or it's not going to work. So, what I suggest is, if you're not 100% sure, reach out to some people that that are sober. Talk to them, get some experiences from them, get yourself a big book from AA, Google some books to read about getting sober. There's some good literature out there that can help you, but, talk to a counselor, talk to a psychiatrist or psychologist, talk to your family doctor, let them know what's going on. And then that can help you decide. But, deep down, you've got to be ready for yourself if you want it to work. I know a lot of people say they're ready and say they want to, but I think deep down they're not. And if they are, they get scared. And what do we do when we get scared? We turn to our vices to help calm us down, to put us in a safe, familiar place. And you can't do that with drugs and alcohol. But, I would try praying, ask God. What I do every morning is I ask God to help me stay sober that day. Let me do His will, not my own. Take away what I don't need and let me keep what I do, and let me be of maximum service to others. And then I add some other things, but that is continually for the past, almost 5 years been my daily prayer every morning. And then at night, I thank God for helping me stay sober, and add other prayers to that. So, now I know in AA, they say before you do anything, you got to get out of bed and hit your knees and everything like that. And that might work for some people, 9 out of 10 times when I say my morning prayer, I'm still laying in bed. Or I say it while I'm making coffee. but you have to do what works for you. Now, I know AA has years and years of, helping people get sober and everything like that, but, not everybody has to do it to a T. And I think that's another reason why a lot of people fail to stay sober, is they get in to these programs like AA and NA, and I want to let you know this is not bashing on them in any way, because I know a lot of people who AA has saved their lives, NA has saved their lives, and everything like that. But, you don't have to do it, in my opinion, to an exact T. Not everybody has to get out of the bed and get on their knees and pray to God. Not everybody has to do, 90 meetings in 90 days, and stuff like that. You can twist the program to fit you and what works for you. Because I think a lot of people get into these programs and they're told you have to do it this way, exactly this way. If you don't, you're going to fail. And in all honesty, that's just not true. And the people that are telling you this, a lot of them, that's how they were brought up in the old days of AA. And a lot of them, when I was in AA, a lot of the people that I knew, and one of my sponsors at one time had like 30 or 40 years sober. So, they were taught old school. And, just like anything else, these programs have to grow and adapt with what's going on in the world today and how people are. So, it's not that these people are telling you this or doing this because they don't want you to succeed. It's just what they know and what they were taught. So, if you have a sponsor or somebody you talk to that's like that and that doesn't work for you, find somebody that has the same outlook on it that you do. Find somebody that you can feel comfortable talking to, that you can feel comfortable sharing your day with or your week with or your months with, and going over them, what you've done and what you're doing. And don't be afraid to ask them questions. If there's somebody that you're talking to and you're afraid to express your opinion, you're afraid to ask them questions, you're afraid that you're going to get yelled at, then that's probably not the person for you to be working with in order to try to get sober and stay sober. So, like I said, there's many ways to do it. You've got AA, you've got NA, you've got Celebrate Recovery, you've got the first thinking principles or first principles thinking. You've got all kinds of different ways that, people are getting sober these days, because like I said in my last video, what works for one person doesn't mean that it's automatically going to work for everybody or the next person. So this is your life. Somebody that did AA or NA or one of these programs to an exact T and it worked for them, that doesn't mean it's going to work for you. And that's not a bad thing. That you don't need to feel like, well, if they did it, it worked for them, but, I can't seem to follow it to a T, it's not going to work for me. That's not the case. You just, like everything in life, we're all different. You need to find what works for you, how you can stay sober, but, either way, I suggest, talking to people, reaching out to professionals, whether it be psychologists, psychiatrists, therapists, somebody that's been in one of these programs for a long time, or people that that are in these programs and what's worked for them, and try a little bit of it all and see what works for you. But the key thing is not what program you follow. The key thing is you being able to make your own program that helps you stay sober. That a program that you can follow, you can take a little from here, a little from there, a little from another place, put them all together and make a program that works for you, that helps you get sober and stay sober. That is what is important. It's not the program that you follow, but it's what program you can develop that helps you get sober and stay sober. So, that's my recommendation for today. is talk to people, put yourself out there, don't be ashamed of it. If you want to be sober, tell people that. People that care about you and love you and that are your true friends, they're going to understand. And a lot of them, in all honesty, have probably thought for a while, depending on, how much you drink or whatnot, that, you need to get sober, but they just didn't know how to tell you. So you're probably going to have a lot more people in your corner and a lot more people rooting for you than what you think. And the people that say to you, oh, well, you can just have one or this and that, or, why, those people, aren't your true friends. They don't truly care about you. What they're worried about is they're more worried about themselves and the fact that they're going to have to hang out with somebody who doesn't drink, which they think are going to now be boring. Or they're worried what other people think, that, oh, his best friend is a recovering alcoholic, or his best friend doesn't drink because he can't handle his booze or something like that. When they should be worried about you and your health and standing behind you and cheering you on. So find somebody to talk to, let people know that you want to be sober. That way it's not as tough, because most people, if they know that you want to stay sober, when you do go out to places, restaurants for dinner, stuff like that, most of them, I know in my experiences, when I told people I wanted to be sober and I wasn't drinking, instead of getting a beer or whatnot with dinner, they'd get an iced tea or a coffee or something like that, some kind of non-alcoholic drink like a soda or pop. So let people know what your intentions are, that you want to be sober. Talk to people, try to look into these different programs, see what works for you. And, you just have to do it for today. Just don't give up today, and then worry about tomorrow. But today, just worry about today and not giving up today, because that was a lot that I had issues with when I first got sober, was worrying about the future. And the future's not promised, but today is. So just, some people, they just have to be, stay sober for this hour, stay sober for this, this afternoon, stay sober for this short period of time, and then build it up into just stay sober for today. But that's all you have to do, is stay sober today and do not quit today, and then go from there. So I hope this information helps people. That's my goal with this channel, is to give my experiences, my hope, my strength, and try to help people that might want to be getting sober, that are struggling to, or not sure how to go about it. Give them some of my experiences and some tips on what they can do to achieve that. So, I hope everybody has a great weekend coming up. As today is November the 2nd. I'll have a video tomorrow and a big announcement tomorrow. And then on Friday, November the 3rd. So I hope everybody has a great weekend coming up. And, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I'll do all I can to answer them. If I don't know them, I'll point you in the direction of who can answer them. If you wouldn't mind hitting the like button, that would be great. Help me grow this channel, help me get it out to more people. If you haven't subscribed, if you wouldn't mind hitting the subscribe button and subscribing. Or if you know anybody that this kind of information could help, or they might enjoy this video or get something out of it, sharing it with them. That'll also help me grow the channel and get this information out to more people who might need it or who might want it. So I want to thank you again for watching. Until next time, go out, have a great day, help somebody, and tell someone you love them.